Okay, here we go. Last show before the last show. So next Friday, May 8th, will be the end of school. Sorry this one took a little bit longer to get out. I had some technical difficulties trying to get a video from Coach Mudgett, and it just did not want to send and did not want to work. And so we'll have to wait and hear from her another time. So I was able to catch up with Mrs. Coulter, and she'll be the first one up, and check in with her to see how things are going with the Coulter family.
What's up, everybody? It's Mrs. Coulter. I'm so excited to be here with you. I wish you were talking back with me. I miss you guys. I'm here to answer a few questions for Women's Week. Whoop, whoop. Thanks, Mr. Bass. The first question is, what has the Coulter family been up to during this time of quarantine? Well, I just first want to tell you guys that we've been grinding on our schoolwork, and then all of our other time really has been spent outdoors. We love the outdoors. We've planted a garden for the first time ever this year, so I'm really excited about that. We have been mountain biking in Oklahoma. You heard that right. There are mountain bike trails in Oklahoma, and my kids just discovered that. We've been doing it for a while, but they were excited about that, and they're loving it. We've also done some of the pump tracks downtown. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but really cool thing. So we've also been doing some fishing. We've been to the river to do some fishing. We've done some pond fishing. We just really love spending time outdoors. And so I would encourage you, if you have not spent time outdoors, you need to get outside. The weather has been, for the most part, beautiful, and that vitamin D gives you so much life and so much energy. So get outside. Do it. Question 2, how have your classes been going? Let me just first say that I was not created to be a distance learning teacher. No way, no how. And I'm not gonna lie, I've wondered before if it's something that would pique my interest, and I'm just here to tell you, no way. I miss my students. I do get to Zoom with them once a week, and they have been working their tails off on the work that I've assigned them, but it's not the same. And I want to finish the year out with them, and I know we can't, and that makes me sad and breaks my heart. But I love them, and I like interacting with them face to face and in person. So yeah, it's been going great, but I'm not for the distance learning. Question 3, what are the plans for cheer and pom tryouts since they're usually during the springtime? Well, funny you should ask. This week and last week would have been cheer and pom tryouts, and so obviously those aren't taking place now, and we've had to come up with a new plan. There isn't anything set in stone yet because it's waiting on approval from administration, but the plan is for those to happen in the month of June. Now, we're not really sure what that looks like because obviously there are restrictions and guidelines in place right now that have to be lifted in order for us to be able to meet together to have tryouts. But our plan is June, and our plan is based on that timeline and what restrictions are still in place to organize it in a format that would fit the guidelines. So again, nothing set in stone yet, but the plan is for those to take place in June, and we will know within a week or so and have information out to everyone, hopefully the first week of May, which is next week, on cheer and pom tryouts. Question 4, are there any good book recommendations so that we aren't sitting on the couch binge watching TV all the time? Let me just tell you, first of all, that I'm guilty as that as well, binge watching some shows late at night and not going to bed when I need to. But if I were to suggest some books to you, the first would be the Selection series, and it's kind of older, but it's coming out, I think on Netflix or a movie, I'm not sure exactly, but I know that they are making it into a film. And so if you have not read that series, girls, even boys, but girls, I'm talking to you, the Selection series. The other 2 recommendations I have are nonfiction books. The first one is called Educated by Tara Westover, and it's an incredible memoir about a girl who was born and raised in the mountains of Idaho. Her family, they were survivalist. They didn't believe in formal education. They lived a very isolated life. But Tara has this desire to want to learn and go to college, and she actually paves a way for herself to make that possible, and ends up having a really cool story about overcoming her upbringing in order to be successful in life. So really cool story. Another great one that just actually also came out as a movie is Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson. That one is about the justice system, or really kind of flaws within the justice system. He is a lawyer, and this is also nonfiction. He's a lawyer who helps inmates on death row that have been sentenced unjustly. So really cool story. You should pick it up, read it. It's great. Other than that, I'm reading a lot of leadership stuff for administration, for grad school, and I'm sure you guys would not be interested in that at all.
All right, thanks, Mrs. Coulter. Now over to me with Mrs. Burton. Next up, I was able to catch up with, as we can see, we're representing drama today. We got the drama teacher, Mrs. Burton, and seeing what's going on with her. So, Mrs. Burton, what have you been doing during the quarantine?
Hey, Mr. Bass. Thank you so much for including me in this week's KJI segment. You know, I've been doing what everybody else has been doing. We are supposed to stay at home, we're supposed to social distance, and I've been complying to those things. And it's been a long 7 weeks, like it has for everybody. Tried to stay busy, reading scripts that I haven't had a chance to read, catching up through text messages and FaceTime with people who I haven't had time to reach out to and see what's going on with them and checking on them. Trying to make sure I stay connected with my students. I wish I could say I was spending a whole lot of time with my family, but unfortunately we are all complying with the stay-at-home social distancing orders, so we haven't spent time together, which that's the hardest part of this. Is it's certainly not a vacation. It's tough because miss my kids, miss not only my real kids and my grandkids, but I obviously miss my students as well.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, and we know this spring we're getting ready to do a collaboration with Rose State. What will happen with all of that?
Like all extracurricular activities, we had several things canceled this spring. We were headed to our regional speech debate competition Friday and Saturday. That was the Friday that we did not have school because of everything that transpired. And so I was hoping that there was a chance we could still do our spring production with the collaboration that we've done with Rose State College, which is The Anatomy of Grey. I had already cast the show and had posted and had high hopes that maybe all of this was going to be short-lived, but it hasn't turned out that way. And so it didn't take long before Rose State made the decision that they were going to postpone all of their spring productions. And so Anatomy of Grey is scheduled for next spring of 2021. And so that's something to look forward to. It didn't get canceled, but postponed. So that was a nice bit of good news.
All right, and then what about, how has your virtual school been going on? How's the classes been going for you?
I have actually been pleasantly surprised at how well distance learning has gone. My students get a performance-based assignment every week along with a written component, and the majority of them have stayed plugged in and connected and have churned out some amazing things, some really creative work that has been exciting and fun to watch. I've looked forward to watching their videos on Google Classroom. As a matter of fact, a lot of your former KJI students have really used, I'm sure, what they've learned in TV production, because some of the stuff that they have sent me, so creative, and it's been tough on all of us, you know. This entire experience has been brand new. So I know the kids are struggling. I know the teachers are struggling. The parents are definitely struggling. But I think we're all doing the best that we can. And so I love staying connected with my kids via Zoom every week, and that's been a wonderful opportunity to catch up. I've also brought in some guest speakers from local universities and theater, speech, and debate programs, and so I'm still trying to make sure they don't miss out on the opportunities because they've missed out on so many, as we all know.
And do we know if we have any plans for EOPA that was supposed to happen this the end of school year, May? Any word on that you can kind of give people some update?
With all of the school events and extracurricular activities being canceled, we made the really difficult decision to go ahead and cancel Eastern Oklahoma Performance Academy, EOPA. This would have been year 7 for EOPA, and it has been a really tough call to pull the plug on that, but we felt like that the safety of the students is obviously paramount, and there's really hasn't been an end to this as of yet. So what we're hoping is that maybe in July, if we get the all clear, it's something we can reconsider to contact students and see if there's any interest to get that going again. Thanks so much for touching base with me. It's been a treat to get to chat with everybody. And again, looking forward to graduation, looking forward to celebrating our seniors, and obviously looking forward to COVID-19 being a thing of the past. So take care, and I'll see everybody in August.
Thanks, Mrs. Burton. So I was trying to catch up with Coach Mudgett. I had everything prepared for that yesterday, but did not work. So once again, apologies for the ladies that were trying to chime in for this week's show. And so stay tuned next week, or this coming Friday. He doesn't know it yet, but I will be trying to get Dr. McCarron on for the final show of the 2019-2020 school year and all this chaos. All right, so thank you, and I will see you next time.